you akathisia, which is severe restlessness, which is taken from these drugs that aren't even antidepressants can cause this too, but other psychotropic drugs doctors are now giving in addition to the antidepressants. And it will, let me tell you what, these drugs will screw your mind completely up. The longer you take them, the worse it is. Hey, Peter, Dr. Bregan, I saw a woman came in at 52 years of age the other day. She had been on antidepressants for 30 years, and the poor little girl could hardly put two words together at 52. And I don't know if we can get her back or not because her brain's been so scrambled. Do you have any of these symptoms when you're on antidepressants? Ladies, gentlemen, listen. Agitation, amnesia, anger, anxiety, apathy, depersonalization, depression, delusions, hallucinations, hostility, irritability, impulsive actions, manic euphoria, obsessive compulsive behavior, overstimulation, paranoia, suicidal and homicidal thoughts and actions. I can tell you these are the common side effects of those that take the psychotropic drugs. I have people tell me in private what their thoughts are, what they've seen, what they've done, what they've wanted to do, and it scared them to death, and it scares me too. I remember a woman said, I was on those drugs and I was laying in bed and I was having these thoughts coming to me, and a thought came and said, get a knife and stab my husband in the heart as he lays there. These are the kind of thoughts that these drugs will make you think because I think they're demonic. I mean, I'm just going to be cold and hard. They're demonic. We don't need to be on those. That's not the way God made us. You need to get your hormones balanced. You need to get on a good eating program. Take your vitamins and minerals for detoxification. Exercise. Eat well, and you can change a whole lot of things and change your lifestyle too. Dr. Bregan, tell us about these antidepressants. How addictive are they?
Well, they're not addictive in your traditional sense that people want to take more and more because it's too painful to take more and more.
They feel bad enough taking what they're taking.
Yeah, but they are addictive in a very profound sense, which is that people can't get off them. And when they try to stop taking antidepressants, really after only a few weeks or months exposure, they can have every possible painful physical and mental emotion that you can imagine. They can feel depressed, anxious, weird, personalized, irritable, angry with loved ones trying to come off them. They can get shocks in their head. They can get a disequilibrium feeling that's terrible. They can get the akathisia I mentioned earlier, which really makes you feel disturbed and uncomfortable in your own skin and creepy and crawly. So what people tend to think is, oh, I need the drug. Look what happens to me. I've just stopped it for a day or two, and look what happens to me. Doesn't mean you need the drug any more than if you stop smoking cigarettes and you get somewhat similar feelings. It doesn't mean you need cigarettes. It means you're addicted to cigarettes and you're having withdrawal. So you definitely get these terrible withdrawal reactions. And you can also get them from these other drugs I mentioned, the antipsychotic drugs that are masquerading as antidepressants. Doctors are giving them out as antidepressants, like Geodone, Invega, Latuda, Rexulti, Risperdal, Safra, Seroquel, Zyprexa. And you have to be very cautious, though, about just stopping them abruptly. So please keep that in mind.
You cannot. Let's repeat that. We are not, just because we think these antidepressants are terrible, and you may agree with us, you can't stop them cold. That's when the terrible things happen. When you either start on the drug, you increase the drug, decrease the drug, or stop it. It's got to be weaned off very, very slowly, and you need to be in the hands of someone that knows how to wean you off. There's some good books on that. I think you have a book on weaning, don't you, Doc?
Yeah, I've got the only medical book on the subject, which tells you how remiss my colleagues are, and that's Psychiatric Drug Withdrawal. And by the way, people can, we haven't mentioned it at my website.
Tell us your website.
It just went, we got a whole new one up. If you've never been to Bregan.com before, it's brand new this last couple of days. And it's Breggin, Bregan, Breggin.com.
Bregan.com, Breggin.com, to go to Dr. Bregan's website. Are your books available on the website?
Yes, they are.
So you can go to that website or go to Amazon to look up Dr. Peter Bregan, Breggin. and take a look and read his literature. You need to be well versed in this. I'm talking about moms, when you go you got your little kids in school and misbehaving, and somebody says, we took him to the nurse. The nurse says, I think he needs Ritalin, or I think he needs Concerta. And you go to a doctor. Please don't put your kids on these amphetamines. That is just horrible. It's a gateway to cocaine. Speaking of cocaine, doctor, would you describe the molecular structure and the similarities between the cocaine molecule and the SSRI and the SNRI antidepressants?
Well, they all have similarities, and then they end up with the same similar clinical effects. When Prozac was first being developed, an honorable doctor inside the FDA warned the FDA and said, these drugs, Prozac, and that now means Paxil and Celexa and Zoloft and so on, these drugs have amphetamine-like effects. They can make people agitated, anxious, give you insomnia, even initially weight loss and appetite loss, although all that can reverse later. So that's another hazard of all of the antidepressants. They can all produce the effects of amphetamines, and the most commonly used ones like Paxil and Prozac, Zoloft, Celexa, they really have a tremendous tendency to have amphetamine-like effects. And what happens then is if you're already depressed and then you get an amphetamine anxiety, amphetamine agitation, amphetamine irritability and anger on top of your depression, it's a prescription for suicide and violence. So just, again, it's another whole mechanism, but you end up with something very similar, which is these just dreadful worsening of your condition. And this is not uncommon, folks.
This happens all the time. Hey, Doc, I've got 5 people that I know. One of them was in our practice. One of them was in the practice. I have 5 people I know that started or adjusted their dose. We don't do any antidepressants, so just friends of family and all that. 5 people who committed suicide. One person just said he went to see the doctor, and the doctor said, well, I think you ought to try an antidepressant. He didn't. 2 weeks later, he hung himself. And that's the drug. That's the spellbinding effect of these drugs and what it does.
Yeah.
So we're warning you, please don't get on antidepressants or antipsychotics, and don't get on the anti-anxiety or the sleep medication. If you're having problems, there's a cause internally that can be easily corrected, and most likely for those of you 40 to 50 to 60-year-olds, it's the inevitable decline of your natural occurring hormones, which can be replaced naturally. It's cleaning up your eating program, and it's also getting on vitamins and minerals to help you detox the drugs you have in your body, and on top of that, good exercise program and lifestyle changes make a world of difference. Dr. Breggin, God bless you, and thank you for your work. Let me tell you, anybody here that would like more information, go to Breggin.com, Breggin, for his information. And also, if you'd like a copy of my book, go to getyourlifeback.com or dial 281-698-8698, and I'll give you a complimentary copy of Hormones, Health, and Happiness.
For professional medical advice and is not intended to replace the services of a physician, nor does it constitute a doctor-patient relationship. You should not use information from this radio program to diagnose or treat a health problem or disease without consulting with a qualified healthcare provider. If you have or suspect you have an urgent medical problem, promptly contact a professional healthcare provider or call 911. Dr. Hotze's Wellness Revolution radio program advises you to always seek the advice of a physician or other qualified health provider prior to starting any new treatment or with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Any application of the recommendations from this radio program is at the listener's discretion.